situation is Adam going to find anything with the flash ulti? Follows through the Lulu polymorph. The wild growth is there, and Targamas does die. Sheo flashes away. Ice in trouble. Vladi flashing on his head. Reaching there. Killer instinct, and it's turned around. You can see the day. Upset kills Ice anyway.
Nice.
It's BDS that arrives at match point first, but what the flip did we just watch? Because, I mean, there was so much going on. There was a draft that was rumored to be absolutely unplayable. They got some kills. Then the game was almost dead, but then somehow KC got revived. What the hell is this?
I don't know. I wish we had a heartbeat monitor for Jackie's because his mood was going up and down in that game all the time. So
he was just like, BDS. But yeah, so what did it came down to? I think maybe it just came down to what we said in the beginning, right? This draft is really difficult to pull off, and on top of that, the Malphite is just constantly threatening you.
I mean, to be fair, props to KC because they should, like, this game should not be close after 25 minutes. Like,
true. That
should be an insta BDS, go team fight, nice stomp, GG. That's what should happen, and KC were just completely outplaying them. And BDS was honestly like running the team fights, like it was disgusting, I'm gonna be honest. Like they always like targeted like one guy and they never killed him, went another, never killed him. So I think BDS have to step it up a bit because almost losing with this draft, that's like criminal. You know?
Yeah, imagine they had a real draft.
but it's funny, right? Because that was unironically KC's best early game this entire series. And that was against what we saw right now. And I'm actually starting to be a bit worried about KC now with the jungle development that we've seen. Because it started with the Sejuani, then the Maokai, then here on red side from BDS. It's both things getting banned. What is the thing that Closer can then default to? It's the Vi. But you already got double AD carry, you're going full AD, there's a Morgana coming through on 3. Like, it's already doomed from the first 3 picks.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, Jackie's main takeaway was from the beginning of that draft. You said, Closer champion pool is a problem, and it's going to continue to be a problem in this best of 5.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, if you're looking Vi here...
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it, yeah. But if you're looking Vi here, like, I don't know what you're thinking is going to happen, because if you go for the Tristana first pick, and like they didn't even pick anything, right, as I see. So and then you just commit into Vi. For me, like you just have to go like something else. You have to go Ivern. You have to go any other English champion. Just go Viego. Like just go something else than Vi because yeah, it's just crazy to me. You know?
Viego?
Yeah, I mean Viego is bad as well. Like, it's tragedy, but it's not that bad. Okay?
It's not as easy as it looks. Thinking about what it should be actually.
Actually, AP junglers are open. Like I don't know.
All of them pretty much. Like Syra's away, but everyone else is available.
It's insane. I think when we go into this draft next, this is definitely what we'll be looking at with a hawk eye to know if KC has a chance in this best of 5. But for BDS, then they did right the ship, right? We got to give them praise where praise is due in that regard. I mean, we're still not happy with them, I think, at all, because we know what their potential is, GB, but how did they bring it home?
Well, through a lot of late game skirmishes that finally started to go right. The thing is with this draft is that you could pretty much wait forever. No matter how bad these early games get, you just have to wait it out, sweat it out, and you'll just win because you just have better tankier stats, and Ice is a god on Kai'Sa apparently. But I also just straight up think that with the amount of misplays we saw from BDS, you still saw how winnable this draft was from them, and that is what this game will be remembered by. It's the draft cap.
Yeah, and with Ice, Jackie's, you were singing his praises the whole time. You were like, I'm his biggest fan. Yeah, how happy are you with him today? So
I'm pretty happy. I think he's doing really well, but sometimes it's a love or hate relationship. Like when he ran it down twice, like I didn't like him for a second, but then he carried it again. So I'm a #1 Ice fan right now.
Yeah, when in doubt, he does tend to carry BDS when they need it most, and they are on match point, right? We talked so much, Guldborg, last week about if you're in a race against the bear being G2, you only have to be faster than the opponent you're playing. Well, if they were to win, the bear is waiting tomorrow, though. So for BDS, regardless, if they were to close it out in this game 4, what do they have to show you to inspire confidence for tomorrow?
More of game 2, less of game 3, but I also just think that in general, they're going to have to make this one clean. And I think that's going to be very difficult with the kind of trajectory they've had so far. I will say I've been really impressed with the way they've stepped up in today's series, because I did not expect them to actually have this kind of prowess against KC. I thought KC was going to be favorites with the way they've played. But hey, who knows? Maybe BDS is just distant for that third place. KC, they really need it though.
They do. And for KC, it's so weird looking at this series, I feel like, Jackie's, because in the first game, they got away with murder with that game they won. Then they have a game like this one where they can't figure out their draft at all, and it shows in the later portions of this game. So I don't really know. I really don't think I have seen the KC that made us so hopeful in the past couple of matches, though, particularly. So how do you think they have to adjust in order to stay in this series?
I mean, for sure, from KC, something has to be missing there. I don't know if it's comms or if it's gameplay related, but if you look at other KC games, you can see closer Targamas pulling the trigger way better.
Yeah.
And now they're going to draft where they can't even pull the trigger, so they are kind of lost on the map.
Trigger.
They don't even like, they have Vi into Morgana shield, like they cannot play the game. So for BDS, I think they have really good prep, and their drafts every single game have been kind of nice. Like it looks like they finally know what they want. So that's a good view from BDS. And for KC, they just like, they're 2-1 down, just go comfort, you know, just lock Azir, lock Sejuani if you can. Just go Jace, Canna is smurfing on that, something like that. You have to just go back to comfort.
They are on blue, so.
Yeah, and I think that was going to be my point exactly. You just have to make sure that the stylistic of the draft is coming down to it. If you know that you're playing an AD mid laner, okay, sure, but you have to commit to an AP jungler then. If you're not going to play that AP jungler, don't bother with that AD mid laner. Just put Vladi on Azir then, because then you have Vladi still on comfort, you get close on more comfort champions, and it becomes infinitely easier for the rest of the team to actually play the game.
Absolutely does, but Azir was also banned last game, I'm pretty sure, because they know that on the other side that's dangerous too, so that makes everything a bit more complicated. And I think that's exactly the problem that KC find themselves in. So will the coaching staff find an answer?
Well, the thing is, right, on BDS probably going to go for the first three, which was the Maokai and the Sejuani and then the Rumble, right? So it still should still free up a lot of different options for KC in terms of what they want to go in their first three. But I think the first three is where most of this draft is going to be decided. They griefed it in game 3 with their first three. This is where it has to come down, where you know exactly what you want to do with it.
Happens?
Yeah.
Gonna see if KC stays with their band as well.
Rel band?
Yeah, they do not want Labrov on that Rel. Understandable. And the Malphite as well.
But that worries me.
That's so situational. Like, are they gonna run this comp back?
Yeah, that is what is a bit like worrying, because that tells me they want to go full AD again.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Or they're baiting it. I don't know.
I don't know what they are actually doing. I think, like, look, Sheo is laughing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, BDS stick to their bans. I think they should still go Tristana for sure, and closer just go Ivern, personally. Like, if you cannot play AP jungle, like, if you really cannot, actually Zyra is open, that changed, no?
Yeah.
No,
so maybe...
oh yeah, they banned Zyra on 3 early, and then they had the Malphite, right? So
maybe he wants to play the Zyra, but to me, if you cannot play AP jungles, just go Ivern. There is no harm in going that. So I think BDS should also like stick to what they played. Just go Corki Kai'Sa or go Corki Zeri. I think changing it a bit is also not bad. But yeah, they're just gonna stick with it.
Yeah,
makes sense.
You're probably just expecting Opposite's gonna pick the Zeri here, and then hopefully we get the AP jungler. This should be the only adaptation we want to see here.
All right, we'll see if Closer gets what he wants then, or if we're gonna go for Zeri first for upset, which makes sense. 2 ADs, that's fine. It
is the meta now, yeah?
Yeah.
4 AD carries.
Sometimes even 3, yeah. They're all over the place.
But now I'm expecting something else. Oh, Kennen. Oh, that's one way to salvage it, I guess.
Yeah.
But which
problems does this solve?
It solves the full AD problem for sure. That's why the Malphite ban is there actually. So I guess it makes sense. I'm still not convinced, because now you can still target closer champion pool.
Yeah.
And you can just ban his AD options. So I'm like, I actually don't know what to predict here, because I'm really lost in this draft.
Yeah,
You've been lost in the draft today. It's been interesting.
Yeah, because there is some things I cannot predict. You know, Casio lock-in, Kennen, Malphite ban, like, it's crazy. But I think Nautilus is a really good lock-in here, because anyone who gets Canna ulted should die into the Kai'Sa.
But you also just get to take out so many of the other supports, right? Rel's already out of the picture. You can get rid of Braum, you can get rid of Leona, you can get rid of Alistar. Like, it's so easy to get rid of these S-tier supports with these two picks. You have Rakan as well, obviously. But so I think whatever really just makes life easier for Targamas, get rid of it.
We'll see. A lot of stress, of course, because this might be the last time you draft in the LEC this year, right? If you're the coaching staff out of KC, just come to think about that. The Zyra gets banned, so they won't be able to go for it, but same for the opposite side. But they can play Ren.
Why ban?
Oh, interesting. I guess
They were scared of Morgana ban.
Yeah, Morgana. Yeah, exactly.
They were scared of that, probably. But for me, I don't know, but both junglers want to play. Like, maybe I'm reading the meta wrong, but Ivern for Closer here is beautiful for me. I don't know. I think it removes the one-shot potential from BDS. So, and I know Closer plays it.
Yeah.
So what do you do if they Ivern on 4 here in BDS? Is that a good takeaway or?
Personally, they should go Brand, as you guys like.
Oh,
Brand
you've been converted, Jackies.
Brand is still open with Nautilus into 3 squishies. Just go Brand, Sheo. It's not that hard.
Boom.
Lovely. Okay, now Ivern gets a bit tough. Yes, I have no idea what Closer wants to play.
Okay, I hope he does.
I actually think Casey did Sheo a favor by banning this Thalia. Like, literally just saying,
Yeah,
well,
I
you're
think they
forced
just...
to... Yeah.
They actually did do that, yeah. Oh, that's the Viego I've been talking about. It's just comfort. It's just comfort, isn't it?
The funny thing is, we saw Sheo go up back on the Viego as well as a comfort, and it didn't go too well when he was the one who had to play it. So,
Look
still
at
have that game 5 or champion in number 5.
Look at the conference right now. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, looks like they called in an emergency meeting.
Yeah, and it's the Viego, guys.
It's the Viego. But now Adam, what is Adam gonna play into Kennen? Because for me, like, I'm just a Jace fanboy, you know? Like, just lock it in. I don't know if he plays it, but...
I think it's ambitious.
That is ambitious, I think. I agree with
he's
that.
gonna outrange the whole team. I'm pretty sure Jace is good here, but I have no idea if he plays it, so...
Well, I've never seen Adam play Jace.
I'm sure that he plays it, you know,
Sure.
as in he ever has. But in this
Back to
situation, Sion.
Looks like they tamed Adam, no? He's just playing tanks now.
Yeah.
He's gonna do the proxy farming again. Okay, this might be KC's last draft. What do you think of it, you both? Guldborg, you start.
Well, it still has some of the core issues that the other one did. I think this draft is a bit more playable than the others, especially because, well, you have at least a front line to play around with. You have an AP actual stylistic where you get a bit of both. But I still think I like BDS with what they have, just because I'm such a big brand fanboy and I just hate Viego most of the time in this meta. So I'm going to be curious to see how they pilot it.
Jackie?
Well, if you're talking about meta, I think BDS for sure have the advantage, but for me, K-Corp draft, it's probably they just go back to their comfort, now even on jungle, right? So, and also this is the only kind of draft they won early game with, so maybe they were happy with that, and now they're like, okay, these team fights are actually playable now, so maybe we can like actually win the game.
Okay.
But I'm a BDS fanboy, so BDS.
Let's see. When in doubt, go for comfort. We'll see if this is the last game KC will play this year.
Thank you very much, Sjokz, and welcome to Game 4, match point for BDS. They liked some of the innovation from KC, but gentlemen, what do you think? Where do we stand? I mean, Viego, last pick here for Canna is a big if, considering that, sorry, not Canna, but Closer rather, when we talked about him at the start of the series being the setup, the engaged jungler, right? He had a very simple style. And this has branched off a little bit here for the last game and in previous games as well.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Viego. I think it doesn't really offer much with your laners because you don't have a huge amount of CC setup. I don't... Oh, how so? Sorry, excuse me. Also on to the... into the engage.
You don't like it that much, Dagda.
I think you just struggle into the likes of Brand to just... You absolutely destroy here.
Yeah, I think at the very least they had an adaptation right there. They realized, you know, that generally... the side of KC are struggling to blind in when the Malphite's potential, so they ban it early, and then they have a lot of range champions and deny that potential into the AD carries. I will say the double AD threats from the mid jungle once again is going to be a problem. KC clearly don't think that's a problem. Yep. They've done it twice in a row now, and they did it another time in another series. So at the very least, they have an AP threat on the top side.
Now, I've just been updated that there has been an issue, unfortunately, with runes getting into game. That's why we have a game delay, so it's going to be reloaded, fixed. Not sure what player it was, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We'll get to resolving that, then we'll be jumping into the game. As Sjokz said on desk, could be the last game for KC of the year, considering that when there's so many stakes on the line, when you just need this win, this series win, to get through.
And I felt like they needed to kind of go back towards comfort, as you heard the desk say, which was try and get something that Closer is able to have some sort of impact on, which is why I think we did see the Viego, but I think it is going to be very much an uphill battle here. Maybe Canna can get a ton of advantage over Adam in this matchup, and you can look to try and utilize that, but in the grand scheme of things, I imagine we probably see an exhaust coming in on towards the like of the Nautilus for Labrov, so you can try and keep that Kennen in check, and then trying to find good team fights is going to be quite difficult when you're just running into a brand.
Yeah, I think definitely in terms of the top side, it'll probably just be a first strike angle, and you just try to, you know, milk the Sion for as much gold as possible, as well as platings. So it will be fairly neutral. But yeah, at the very least, you do have a bunch of engage. I think KC have been really struggling with being pinched in terms of closest pool. Every single game now, it feels like Close is completely targeted. His best champion, Sidwani, because he's so good at facilitating his lanes and getting engages off in the mid game, keeps getting taken off. Maokai's off as well. I think it's become incredibly difficult because Closer has a very small pool this playoffs.
Yeah.
Only 3 champions before today, and it's being really tested.
Which is crazy, because when you look at him coming across from 100 Thieves, he was kind of renowned for being a big carry player. He was the Lee Sin, the Nidalee. He wanted to step up and be that mainstay carry, but you kind of have to change your identity when you join new teams to slot into what the team needs, and this is what the team has said we need from you. It's just unfortunate that at this stage, when you need a different look, KC haven't been able to find it, and now, with their backs against the wall, they need to perform in a comp that is not going to be easy to do so.
Yeah, we're getting faster, we're getting faster. Does it get us into game faster? Go on then. No, we're still waiting. The crowd's rearing us up to go. It's nice, you know? It's nice hearing them loud and jostling for KC when it's just been crazy. Yeah. You know, and I came into this split and I thought, well, you know, KC going to be 9th, 10th. We got to this point where not only they made playoffs, but they made it in firm fashion. I think it was even the week before the last week. And then here we're at this point. I mean, BDS have shaped up today. Let's be real. BDS have had better quality games. And we're questioning the draft a little bit. We're questioning the man on your screen, his role on KC this game. It's the biggest question of if they can snowball, if they can get this game rolling early enough.
And yeah, the way they've come back, I think this is such, I've said it before, but an excellent case study for what happens when the meta coincides with your strengths. When all the players on your team suddenly rise up in terms of their level of play, you have Targamas suddenly being incredibly proficient after getting so much flack. You have upsets Pool becoming the strongest champions in the team, and Vladi's consistent play, as well as Canna being played for well around Closer. So I think it's just everything coming together, and it'd be a shame to see them go out.
But it is up against BDS, who consistently have shown that they belong in the top teams.
Put his hashtag in there.
But
let me OPGG that guy.
Where BDS, they stumbled, don't get me wrong, against MDK. They stumbled in their last series as well against Giant X, but they've still managed to trudge on. And now against KC, we're starting to see a lot of the BDS that we thought we would be promised coming into playoffs. And when they have shown that they have put in the effort, changing their style, with Sheo moving from tank duty to being a mainstay carry, from Labrov turning into that main engage tool, which was lacking last year, their side lane control getting better. BDS have put in the work, they put in the leg work to get to a position where they can be considered one of the best teams in Europe when they perform to the expectations you expect.
That's why it's nice it's come back to that expectation we got from their regular season performances. I've been told we're loading into the Rift now. Let's hope that KC aren't like Bobby Sins. Diamond 2, 63 LP, support main, you know, got to Master before, but again, for Bobby, much like KC, I think it is a hard road ahead. The drafts will question in both games. At least it wasn't as egregious, I think, as last draft. We've got question marks about this one, but last draft we were like, there are issues running into this Malphite, and the smart pick that came through from BDS, at least this time there's more avenues. Finally, here we are. Are they a Bobby? Or are they going to take us to game 5 and fight their way through BDS? Much to Giant X's chagrin, which I think means not a grin. Welcome back. Chagrin is bad, right?
Well, no, it's just Charmander smiling. Which is really cute. No, it's Charmander, but he smiles.
Or chagrin. Dagda, we're going to mute that. Can't mute Dagda, that's a lie. We can mute Vedius, that's the difference. And Eragon a little bit.
What? I was about to get into the runes. You don't want to hear about the runes?
No, I'd love to, I would. I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, immediately looking across the board, the Conqueror for Canna into Adam. You know, range champions are going to be harder to keep stacked up, but he won't get the income from first strike. An interesting choice from Canna, looking for more lane domination against this tank. Adam, you know, my biggest questions in that draft were, what does Adam have on R5 into Rumble? And I was going down the rabbit hole of, you know what, maybe he'll go Mundo. You know, maybe he'll pull out the Jace for the first time in a long time. I think, Dagda, you said the Callista top lane was something you did get excited. I was excited.
Adam has been spamming lethality Callista top, and I was like, you know what, maybe this is an angle for it, but
it was a Sion. Yeah. And that was sad.
He's been watching Keen.
Are they faking the lane swap?
Are we?
Oh, they were spot on a ward. Good ward for
Okay.
KC. So I think they are trying to fake it essentially, because you can see Adam didn't show on the top wave. So like, oh, maybe we can try and figure out something here, but ward was spotted out. And BDS, again, like, they're just going to try and see if they can withstand the early laning phases and then just come in to be that mega buffed up team when it comes to team fights.
Looking already in the early game, mid top prior should go over to the side of KC, which can convert into grubs later on as the Tristana and the Kennen team. On the other side, down in bot lane, you do have Prio for closer, so he's going to path down to bot side, going to be able to get that the initial camp spawn of the crab.
I am curious though, because with Closer moving down towards this bot side, if they wanted to try and set up for some sort of play on towards the bottom side, but I don't think, as you say, they're going to be able to, especially with Upset and Targamas struggling to get that the priority in that bottom side, but always an option when you have that pressure coming through. You can see Vladi already starting to lean down, place a ward just to try and spot it exactly where Sheo is going to be.
For the time being, the Corki Tristana matchup continues doing what it does mid, so we'll focus on jungle pathing that slides its way down. My biggest thing is what you guys said approaching draft before we got into game. It was talks about the brand, what it does to this comp as well, what KC does running into this draft. I just want to see how it operates as we get to the mid game. KC had a really strong start last game, and it didn't make for anything as BDS started getting into team fighting mode and started becoming really dangerous.
Yeah, I think the big thing last game was the Morgana Black Shield became incredibly, like, it became harder and harder to deal with as the Vi, whereas Closer now, it's also quite difficult for him. I think dashing into a brand and generally AD carries and a lot of lockup is incredibly difficult when you don't have a lot of facilitators to be able to play off of, like an Ari and champs like this.
If you do get the ideal team fight for KC, though, he can have a field day. Like, a big Canna ult into those resets could set them up beautifully, but good ward here from BDS already, despite a Closer trying to get in onto this bottom side, and Sheo is there, depending on how heavily they want to try and play this.
I think BDS are quite strong in terms of this 3v3 right now. Unless Targamas can get a big knock-up, I think it should be Closer going up towards topside grab and conceding this one. I mean, they do have Prio in the mid lane with Vladi, but yeah, Sheo are going to be able to secure this. Another question is, can he double back and go to top grab as well? But looks like he's just going to recall and do his respawn caps.
We'll just see what happens through mid as well. Burst trades often lead to topside priority as Closer moves his way up. Sheo's a little bit slower, and Closer will just have this in the bag nice and easy there. So full clear, done and dusted.
Yeah, Sheo isn't going to reset though. He's just going to immediately take the camp. So a bit worried about Closer trying to come in and steal it away. He dragged it away. Nicely done.
All right.
So able to get them all for Sheo. So Sheo, like, good heads up, cancels a reset because he knows that Closer's going to try and evade, and now getting some decent damage down onto him as well.
Yeah, the damage is there. I mean, Closer at half HP though can out-sustain this. Sheo running forward, gets another stun again. In fact, Closer, he's close to getting that Blaze passive on him again with Conflagration, if I can say that properly, as Canna comes up to support.
Yeah, that's a disaster for KC because Closer has Prio in both mid and top lane, so he's looking for this invade proactively. Canna was on the way, but he gets chunked too hard to the point where he can't steal these Krugs anymore. And that's just going to be a happy chappy, and Sheo going to be able to clear down the bot.
He's not happy. His ice as he gets stunned up and pushed up against the turret.
It also means Closer's invested a lot of time on this opposite side, so he's going to be very behind in tempo. So you can see reset now from Sheo. He can move immediately down into the spot side. Could look for a potential dragon just off rip if he wants to, knowing that he's got that little bit of advantage on timing over Closer, and then still be in a position to look for the topside camps, the Void Groves when it comes to Ice.
Targa gets another good engage. I mean, Ice is isolated and has to barrier out. Labrov's on a mission, but meanwhile, Ice is stuck in the freezer.
Yeah, it looks like Labrov kind of moved over to see if he could help him out with the big grin on you as you move over towards the helping out his jungler, because Sheo, instead of also going for Dragon, could immediately do these two camps and then start to lean up towards Void Grubs if he wanted to full contest here as well. So you got a lot of options as Sheo since he was off that little bit quicker. I mean, Closer hasn't even reset yet.
Yeah. Ice as well, his mana condition is pretty poor, right? So I suppose Upset is as well, but this Dragon could be contested. Either side, kind of weak right now. No barrier for Ice as well if there's a skirmish.
We look top though because something's happening with Adam. Level 6 reach for Canna before, so Slicing Maelstrom comes out. Decimating Smash gets him on the back end, but Adam is chunked to half HP.
So the idea is he has a slow push coming in. Maybe, you know, Adam will be a bit scared of the dive and back off. I suppose he has that zombie form anyway. He has no TP to bail himself out of this kind of bad situation on this slow push, so we're going to try and catch the wave under tower.
Closer making a desperation play here. He still hasn't reset. So this Dragon was going to BDS. They should spot Closer hasn't reset though as soon as they get vision of him, which means that you're actually able to immediately roam up towards this top side as well. Closer's early pathing like he took a lot of risks to try and make something happen, but this is just giving a lot of control to BDS.
Yeah, the 3v3 down bot side wasn't winning, and he tries to invade with Prior. It doesn't work out. The hook comes out though.
Red Line starts us off. Second skin now stacking up. Targamas gets the disengagement. Look who's there. Sheo about to roll on in as Upset does the same thing over a wall. Meanwhile, we go towards mid because Nuke and Vladi are fighting it out as they do. But nothing happens down bot side, it looks like in the end. It just Targamas getting out of dodge.
We haven't even talked about mid lane, where these trades, of course, the same matchup over and over again, but they are very volatile, right? They can be extremely volatile, so you can get a lot of attention towards there. Close are going to sneak away the grubs as well, with Sheo being late on them back in base.
Yeah, it stayed around to try and help out his bottom side, so I don't think BDS ever noticed that Closer hadn't reset. I think they thought he'd gone for the reset and then shown up on bot, so hadn't done his bot camp. So Sheo expected to say, hey, could probably stick around a little bit longer and then come back out onto the top side of the map. But now that Closer has reset, immediately moved top side, means you can't really contest this either.
And also, Sheo probably thinks, you know, it's expected. He's probably going to get grubs because of the fact that they have a Kennen into my Sion, as well as the Tristana push. So just going to concede it, play for bot push, and then reset and full clear once again. This is the big strength of the AP junglers.
And that's Sion who just altered back to the wave as well, so now that's off a cooldown, but at least he catches the majority left of that wave, but still. Big CS lead, big gold lead for Canna in the early game, as you'd expect. Adam decided to play Sion into this, and you know, Canna's getting a bit of a freebie again. We just have to see what he can do with it while Adam push back to his wave. The camera keeps scanning bot. That is a nice cancel, actually. Look where the wave is, gents.
Is he on a ward? Or is that blind?
I think he was just... Oh, no, actually, yeah. Might have just been blind. So saw him pull off the wave and was like, I'll just check and see what happens.
Pretty smart. Targamas is here. We ignore mid for the time being. Sheo's just covering as well. Vladi tries to get the push.
Yeah. Just trying to let Nuke clean this one out and then probably look for the reset. They're going to try and invade on this bottom side, knowing that Upset hadn't reset, but they don't have the numbers here. This is going to be very dangerous.
Labrov could be... Ooh, the buffer on the hook. Very nice to get.
Really nice. Actually, he was in a lot of trouble if he didn't.
But it was also, like, look at where Nuke was. Nuke had just gone for the reset, so a little bit of an overextension, honestly, from BDS. They were lucky to escape from.
Slicing Maelstrom starts off. Adam might be in a bit of trouble. This is solo kill territory. I'm waiting for the Shuriken to come through, but a minion stands in the way. Massive wave up for Canna as well. Adam doesn't want to miss out. He's got flash. He burns it under turret. That's big. Canna is going to kite around a decimating smash as well. So the stun stops it, but I mean, the fact is Adam can still stand here.
Yeah, the E flash.
Oh, he got him. Got him.
Does he fall? No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But at least the minion wave, I feel like for Adam, the Pulse would be watching that saying, man, at least the minion wave's gone.
Yeah, at the very least, Adam played that quite well. E flashing, flashing away from the E from Canna to avoid the 3-stack passive of the stun. Managed to clear out the wave. The initial Q gets cancelled, but that only puts it on 2-second cooldown so we can cast that again. Still, very nice play from Canna, using the Conqueror to find that dive.
Pressure on from Nuke. They started to teeter down towards the spot side. BDS were heavily playing for ice in this lane, but here we go.
Timing's not good. I mean, Closer is here, but yeah, Sheo's behind as well. The Brand has himself a Pyroclasm to throw out. Closer's going to blaze for a little bit as Labrov is the trade. It gives a reset to Closer. Dredge line there. Ice pull back in. The Heartbreaker playmaker. Closer comes in. And looks better than Showmaker.
Just barely not enough damage to try and finish off Closer there, and there's the resets we're talking about. Able to finish off Labrov and then set up for a lovely hook onto ice afterwards.
Yeah, it looked a bit dicey when Closer's W missed on that Viego. It looked like he was left out to dry and the combo from Sheo was going to do too much damage, but he manages to find the combo into finding that reset.
Wait, you can go forward on this. Vladi just jumped away. Ulti burned. Satchel charge going to explode for a bit of damage. Nuke has flash available still, but Vladi paces off as Labrov now hovers.
X-Flash potential there for Labrov, but they're just going to back away. But we're going to catch the replay here as the engage comes through. Sheo does get a good ultimate off the back of it, but just wasn't quite in position right as the play comes through. Good heads up from Targamas to get the Hex Flash just behind, just out of vision of that ward as well. And even then, you get the hook from Labrov, but as the damage steps through, like, you get one bounce, goes to Targamas, and then back to Closer, but kind of fizzles after that, and then Closer barely able to get the kill, and then follows up with the hook onto ice. Yeah,
the damage from Upset's ultimate there and the chain lightning and the continuous chase down is just too much, and they don't find it.
You see that as well? He Heartbreakers away, so the Blaze passive doesn't hit again for the double, so he doesn't actually die. Also, when he's possessing too, with a Sovereignty or whatever it's called, Closer avoids the damage from the passive on either Upset or Targamas. So, again, insane play. That has now actually netted an early game lead for KC, on top of the one already brewing in top, through bot, through jungle. We had a lot of questions about what this Viego could do, and for KC, this is the perfect opener for them to try and launch into a Game 5.
And while I do like BDS's draft more, it's not as unplayable as last game, right?
Yep.
Like, you still have a lot of ways that you can try and take these fights with good flanks, with good opportunities to set up for plays. So KC, off of this lead, can most certainly bring us to a game number 5, especially as they start to look towards things like Dragon here. I'm going to try and steal that one away. Void Grubs are up on the opposite side, but you can see BDS have already invested onto this bot side of the map as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to contest here unless everyone abandons closer and Sheo can make his way in. Labrov is going as well to play Human Ward.
Thinking about it. I mean, maybe the fight afterwards. Closer is here. Might have to get the smite down. He does. But BDS now shown 3 members here. And KC, there's an opportunity to just walk up to topside and get 6 scrubs. Closest thinking about it and probably doing it.
But like you said, I completely agree. This is the perfect game state for KC. They really need to find something with this Viego, because naturally Viego's going to get out-farmed by Brand, outpaced, and eventually that lead's going to culminate into too much for the side of KC to handle. Still, great plays from Kate Closer, just getting every objective across the map and skirmishes down bot side.
Canna, cresting very close at level 11. Going to try and force Adam away from this top side. With Vladi coming across, this is going to be 6 Void Grubs. And you've already gotten 2 of those plates on top side as well. So Canna going to start to extend this 1.4k gold lead that he finds himself in and be able to play highly aggressive in these fights. So BDS looking to try and trade this underneath the mid turret.
This is a Hex Flash, isn't it? That Nautilus is coming over the wall, and now Vladi knows it. He's got Flash available, but Dredgeline hits nothing instead. Vladi just going to kite it back. Forward he goes with the marching band, and I guess he's the trumpeter. Vladi just pushes Labrov off, and at half HP, they're back away.
I feel like I've seen this before in the previous games in this series. BDS have no answer to the plays being made from KC. No cross maps available. They can't take any jungle camps. They're already taken away by Closer. And there's no dive down bot side. So now Closer, they secure the grubs and the red buff.
Everything in the kitchen sink. This early game from KC is going from better to best, and it's more than a 2k gold lead now. It's with the 6 scrubs, going to be 3 shortly. Vladi stays for a little bit, though. Is it too greedy as Ice has the ulti available? But there's no tag at a second skin. He just procced it. Vladi gets out.
Ice considered it, but not going to try and go too close to Closer. He was waiting in behind his mid laner. So say KC take that opportunity to shift down into this bot side, set up vision so they can spot out a BDS. They're going to be here to defend. I think Upset, especially with Static Shiv, should be able to push in this bot wave fairly quickly. And KC now pressure on top and bot lane.
Bro's the fastest clearer in the game, or at least one of them, right? Brand clears so quickly, and right now, because of closest tempo, he is up in CS in the jungle, which just feels like it's unheard of.
Yeah, it's unheard of, and it's just part of this naturally accruing lead across the board for the side of KC. I mean, in top lane as well, you have plating's difference, you have a CS lead in jungle when you should be out-farmed. It's just winning across the board for KC.
There's little that BDS can really do. Closer
On a ward,
out.
peekaboo. Labrov might have to dredge line away, and he does indeed, as Closer just shows and puts pressure on the map, while Canna's fine because he knows exactly where the enemy jungler is. Adam is just stuck in lane.
At the very least, I will say that KC have had more lanes of Prio to play around. So you've seen Closer attack Brand, attack Sheo. Maybe that's why he's been set that far behind a little bit. You have very strong Prio in the top lane with a huge CS lead as well as mid.
And this is why KC have just been leveraging it super well, and now they can leverage it towards another objective of Rift Herald. You've already got that top tower is about to fall with Canna as he clears out this wave. So Adam going to start to roam down bot lane. This is an old school trick with Sion as soon as he first got released, which is you just ult onto that bot wave and see if you can make something happen.
Yeah, conceding that first tower up topside is rough, but maybe they can find something onto Tristana. My only concern is he can buffer the Sion ult even if it connects.
Well, it does come down, and maybe they have to question where it is as Vladi and Targamas are giving space. He runs out of range. Dagda calls it, I see it, and now we believe it. Canna has flash available with his ulti. Exhaust is only on Labrov, and unfortunate there, BDS do get out, but hey, first turret topside, the TP wasn't in vain, because now Herald's also going down with it.
Canna doesn't even need to go for the ultimate, even though he has flash. He paths in a way which tells me he wants to avoid the vision and hide in the bushes, potentially find an ulti, only if it's free. Because on the other side, you have Closer securing a Rift Herald anyway, and once again, it's KC winning the map in the early game.
2.5k gold lead for top, by the way, after that first tower, 15 minutes into the game. We're going into a very strong mid game for KC. And this feels like the strongest early game, right? Last game we had a bit of an early game lead with their comp, but we started seeing some of the flaws of it. This time around, we asked for them to snowball, and we know where this goes with Upset again on Zeri, with Vladi on Tristana again, with Closer on a jungler that can run the map.
But this is where it's a big enough gold lead at this stage that the comps just kind of stop mattering. Where KC are just going to be able to take over, because it's a 4k gold lead now, but Rift Herald in mid lane, that's going to crack open another turret. It's going to give you pressure, as you can already look on that bottom side as well. Another turret about to fall. It's going to be a 5k gold lead very, very quickly coming through for KC, and this is getting put to the point where BDS, this may just be in insurmountable.
I mean, it's big for KC, but I mean, you can look on the other side of BDS and say, you know what, we can make an argument now that the power trough of Corki's gone, he's got his completed Triforce, and we're matching items across the board now. I suppose as well, Sion can kind of hold waves under tower now, mitigating any side lane threats. So maybe there's an angle for BDS with the relatively even items.
I mean, how much oxygen you have in your tank? The cope is there. I feel like at this point, 5k gold lead, and as you guys said, it's crazy. KC are back against the wall. Their first time in playoffs. Their first move here happens from Canna in the past couple of minutes, and it gets the flash out of Nuke, or rather, it was the W, excuse me. Canna's the one who flashed there, who tried to make a noble attempt.
It was a nice attempt from Canna because he's like, oh, if I can get the pick on towards Nuke, I can't get exhausted in a fight, and maybe we can make something happen. But this means that Nuke can reset, TP in, no ult on Canna, no flash, a potential 5v5 with the Dragon if BDS feel like it, but it looks like they're not going to try and go for it instead. Sheo on that top side already. They're just going to look for the turret and the gold instead.
Yeah, securing Dragon, but they are bleeding a bit top side. I mean, they're going to lose a tower up top as well as multiple waves. KC trying to find plays down in bot side with Canna Flash engaging with that ultimate. But at the end of the day, relatively even trade. Second Dragon to go over to KC.
I mean, KC, look, second Dragon who's big. Cloud Dragon and Cloud Soul rather at that as well for a Kennen. Hell yeah, we like that. I think as well for Upset, he's going to be cheering off that too. So the two electric rats on that team going to have a field day as, man, we're talking up KC because this early game has been supreme. It has been sublime. It has been perfect. It is what you want from a team that, again, I was just mentioning before Canna decided to flash over the wall, that this being their first playoffs, this being their biggest moment in the sun in the LEC in their debut year, and they are delivering when it's needed most.
And this series defines if KC is a top three team. But KC's gameplay has already shown that they well belong with the top teams that we have in the LEC right now. They've been so good at finding these moments in the mid game to turn things around. Their early game here has been absolutely spectacular, and that's why, like, it will be heartbreaking to lose this team if they lose here to BDS, because they've turned into such an immaculately strong team.
Because I think what we decide in this series is whereabouts in the top teams KC is, right? Are they in the top 3 for this split, or are they a little bit below, top 4, top 5, right? Depending on what happens with Mad, of course, season finals. Let's pause for a second, though, because Vladi's caught out for a tiny bit. Labrov's coming in, and BDS want to make this an engage. A Dredgeline would set it up and onto Targamas and closer. They're out of range now as BDS try to leverage some part of this gap close.
And what we're seeing right now, right, as well in the LPL 14.14, if KC on this patch go, or rather the same meta, similar meta, because it's similar on 14.14, go to season finals, I think they can be a very, very strong team because it doesn't change. They've shown this is a perfect meta for them, and it'd be a shame to lose them.
I mean, again, we're talking about this because KC are in a winning position in this game, but they still have to close it out. BDS are the ones on match point. BDS are the ones who hold not only Mad's top 4 position, as Dagda talked about before, but Giant X's fate in their hands, as well as another top 3 finish for them too, just like the other splits.
And BDS has been a team that has turned around the unturnaroundable.
Oh yeah.
Every time it feels like BDS just find these moments with one fight, one pick, one just small opportunity to turn things around, and they will take it. So for BDS, they are very much capable of just taking this game out of KC's hands.
So essentially BDS or Eminem, as you're saying.
Yeah, I realized what I was doing. I was like, crap.
Well, Eminem versus who? I don't know any French. I know Stromae. I don't know if that's correct. I know he's not a rapper, but absolute banger song as the setup is there. This is also a banger engage. Labrov has to flash away. Dredgeline gets him to the wall, but he's stunned up for a time being. Upset runs on any ultis, but is it too far? BDS say, no, please get out of our jungle. There's a reset there for closer. Vladi now joins in as well, and it's just an opening.
Labrov saying Papa Uwe on that one as he immediately regrets his life choices. KC now setting up for this push on the bottom side, and Canna is still on top. Like, he's still an absolute threat as he works his way towards these turrets.
And KC, they know they win. Targamas knows he wins that. He continues the fight, even though it looked like Upset might have been pulling back a little. They have 2 items across the board to 1.5, so they just keep going and forcing the play until Labrov falls. It's an excellent force, and now I imagine what they can do is strong side either Canna or Tristana here, Vladi, and play for them in hitting this tier 2. It's a really easy way to snowball.
KC has such good control over this game.
Oh yeah.
But again, this is where you have to try and just close it out. Baron is up and available. You guarantee your mid push with this build from Upset at the moment, to having that advantage over ice. So if you can start to play through that mid wave, set up your vision on top, let Canna and Vladi be those threats in side lanes and just continue to keep the pressure up, slowly burn down BDS as they try and set up on the map.
I mean, trying to set up towards Baron, it looks like there is a cheeky ward on the right side here, as observers can see, thanks to BDS setting it up a little bit earlier. So they know, again, that Kai'Sa around this area, and Targamas, the angle's beautiful. Labrov caught out again. When he's not on the rel, this guy struggles in the mid-game. And once again, 0 and 3 here. Kai'Sa have an opening towards the Baron.
Yeah, they have so much damage. They have the double AD carry composition that we always see. They can turn on it and rush it down if they want to, but they're going to play for the turn. Targamas fishing.
That ward is a little bit annoying for the time being as well, as close as coming in.
Canna.
The electric rat. Canna has flash, and down he goes. I mean, Labrov doesn't have the exhaust available, but he jumps in, and Sheo under turret is safe for now. Vladi's running up, tries to get the kill, and Sheo will survive off the back end as KC can't find their pick to open up the map more, but they get damn close.
That could have been the play for Canna. The exhaust was dead on BDS, but the flash and then the Seeker's arm guard was clutch for Sheo, keeping him alive. But now, Dragon in just a couple of seconds, and you don't have those tools for Canna.
Yeah, KC have to reset as well, so BDS are first on the map. I wonder if they can rush it down relatively quickly with Ice's DPS. Looks like they're going to sell for midway first and move into River afterwards.
But will they have enough time to do that? I mean, teleport's going to be burned. KC moving into position. Ice spotted out, and they're running him down with Targamas at the helm.
Too slow.
And yeah, a Sion is going to do about 10 damage a second as it's going to reset now, and it turns into a team fight where you know KC are much, much stronger.
Sheo doesn't have his ultimate, so that backline threat is completely gone, but KC don't exactly have the tankiest front line either, so this could be a moment where BDS maybe can play the front to back, but it's so dangerous. Canna's ultimate still a little ways away from being up.
I think the most important thing here is Sheo's really weak right now. Just 1.5 items, a broken Seeker's arm guard. He can't do anything. And once again, I have to criticize BDS's cross maps. Here, it isn't so egregious because you maybe think you can do the Dragon before they come off of their resets. But all game long, it's just closer. It's just KC doing objectives and there being no opposite play.
But it comes back to what Adam talked about on Euphoria. They don't feel like they're on the same page anymore. The things that clicked, the communication that was there, hasn't been there for BDS as soon as they got to playoffs, and they didn't know what it was, and we're starting to see those little cracks again here when BDS had an opportunity.
And don't you think it's funny, because in this series we've had the best of both worlds, haven't we? We've seen the cracks here, and again, you know, you guys criticize the macro, but was it game 1, gents, or game 2, the macro from Adam on the Cassante we talked about, and the fact that BDS were playing the sides of the map better? We've had both, and we've seen the failings and the success of BDS within one best of 5.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem here they have is they didn't realize how big Kennen was into Adam's pool. I think they have really struggled to find an answer, and going to blue side, if BDS do lose this, they'll have more room to target ban. That way they can maybe ban away the Kennen as well on blue side.
That's also what makes Canna such a good top laner. I mean, yeah, you can criticize his Gnar performance last game, but we saw the Jace previously in last week where he absolutely popped off, MVP performance. Here on the Kennen as well, it's been a clean game, and granted, he's against a tank, but Canna just has this small champion pool that he really excels at. Everything else sometimes can be a question mark, and it is nice to see, not only within this series, but within this game, that Canna is set up for success on a champion that I think he can do well on.
If we do go to a game 5, though, BDS has never won a game 5 in playoffs.
Oh my god.
Every single time BDS have been knocked out of playoffs, it has been in a game 5. BDS would have to overcome so many of their demons, not only just this playoffs, but historically as well, if they wish to take down KC and guarantee themselves that top 3 spot.
It's a big ask, isn't it? Again, in this game, we know it's more than an ask. It is a golden opportunity if they find a way back in, because the gold is out of sight right now. Baron is constantly the threat, and KC are setting up to clear some of this vision, but that ward is there again. They know they're starting it, and BDS are moving in.
I mean, look how much damage a Brand can do. If he throws it in right now with the magic resist shredded on the side of KC, they can get absolutely popped. So it's on KC now. Will they peel off?
Canna has no flash though, so he's going to join in the rest of the team. Adam looking for the flank, so KC pulling away. BDS happy enough with that. They can try and play off a mid-wave to try and get the turret, so Canna going to put pressure onto the tier 2 top, knowing that BDS will have to respond.
And let me repeat what Dagda just said, is mid-turret will eventually go down. Closer just hovers over the side, and BDS, I pull it back, they don't get mid-turret at all, and it's cleared away. But Dagda talked about Canna's flash not being up. We know one of the biggest tools for the Kennen, that's about 5 seconds off cooldown. And so the fact that Baron's pulled off and BDS pulled them away, now that it's up, maybe a benefit for KC.
KC doing well as well, sweeping out all the vision that spotted them on the first attempt. Now you have the Void Seekers from Ice, going to be able to spot out if they're doing Nash as well.
But that ward is spotted that KC have not left that pit, so BDS will be very aware that this Baron is going down. They move into position. KC back away once more. Canna, they want to try and set up where they get mid-push and can get Canna some sort of flank opportunity, because if he has to try and flash past Adam, flash past Labrov, it becomes very difficult to operate that team fight.
2 items now for Sheo. He's actually strong at this point. They have a very good front to back. So if they can find this kind of situation where Kennen, where Canna isn't on a flank and they can just auto-attack, hit the first target, that's ideal.
As long as Ice doesn't get caught out here. Closer again. He's the one with the level lead, and he's had this game in the palm of his hands for quite a while, still with the gold lead too. We're not at that point where gold stops mattering, guys. Just remember, we're way, way off that for the time being as we're focusing on this Baron, but there's also a Dragon Soul that spawns in a minute 30. Cloud Soul is huge for KC, a permanent buff that could lead them and get them into this desperate game fight.
It's great for people like Canna, so he can try and keep up in fights, but it is still going to be, like, again, a struggle as BDS. They've kind of slowed down the pace of the game. It was a 5k gold lead that started about 5 minutes ago, but hasn't really explored any further from that. So this is where at least BDS are getting items onto Ice. Now it's 3 items. You're getting crucial moments for BDS to start to farm up.
That's exactly it, right? They've really stemmed the bleeding of getting hit on by those tier 2s. With all the wave clear that Sion can offer, Canna and Tristana can't really do anything to snowball the game in terms of those bundles of gold that they can secure in side lane. So BDS halting the bleeding, and I will say, I'll pose this to you. In game 1, we had something similar. It was a big lead for KC, and they got quite a relatively weak soul.
True.
BDS were able to team fight back and come back into the game and then eventually win it.
Well, KC as they approach again, we waited out. 25 seconds. Remember again, KC won game 1.
KC won game 1.
Yeah. Other way around. Dagda, what do
Bar
we
is
see?
being started. Canna threatening that inhibitor turret. Does he TP? This is going to go so quickly.
It really is. I mean, BDS making a mega play. KC are now walking in. It's pulled off, though. But that's BDS's damage on Baron. Again, double AD carry with Brand. It melts. One mistake, and KC could drop.
Big wave lost to BDS in that bot wave, though, so TP definitely going to be valuable, especially if you can send Nuke down to start pushing this out. And I think it'll be Vladi now who starts to take up that mantle of pushing in on bottom side. Dragon going to be secured for KC, though, and that will be the soul.
That's just soul. Cloud Soul for a game 4.
Yeah, an attempt onto Baron, and it isn't fruitful. And now it's just a Cloud Soul, like you said, so effective for these teams. Canna's going to absolutely love it, diving the backline, all the move speed that Zeri can get upset as well. It's been incredible for the face checking for Targamas too.
Well, I wait with bated breath still for this Baron. I wait for this Baron that's been drawn out for 5-10 minutes now. For the Cloud Soul now to be enacted. For the flash with Kennen. See if Labrov can react. I mean, again, it's obvious that KC are not overstepping. They're not overstating the game. Wards are going to be cleared here, and they're thinking about starting Baron again.
You can see what Nuke and Adam are trying to expend both numbers there. Things are going to work out. They're going to have to teleport.
It's going down really quick.
Adam starting to move in. Canna not really in a position, but Baron.
Targamas ulti's out. The Brand ult does a lot. Targamas in trouble. Decimating Smash, not enough. Not enough. He has Warmogs to come back in.
Canna on the flank, but Targamas is so low.
He's spotted. Wait, Labrov, dredge line, flashed away from a flash defensively for Canna. That is a bit of a nightmare. Mid's now going to be opened up for BDS.
KC have to run topside, and BDS, they're trying to keep them away from the mid lane turret. The hook! Not going to go out.
God, we're just on an edge, aren't we? Now Close might be caught out. Heartbreaker, no, he dodges away from Adam, and we're doing this tango in the jungle. No one pulls the trigger, but mid-turret open. BDS with a bit of gold, and the fact that the Baron was stopped as well is also their win.
I think the ring of move speed from the Cloud Soul in that jungle going to help everyone avoid any potential engage. BDS now, it's going to simmer away, and the recall is going to come through.
They desperately need to try and get these resets off nice and quick, because KC going to try and set up a ton of vision on this bottom side. Maybe look to get these waves back in their favor, but KC, you can see how desperate they are to try and get some sort of position here for Canna to get these flanks, but his flash being down makes him significantly less less threatening in these fights. We'll have it up for Elder Dragon in 4 minutes time if we get there, but it looks like BDS want to try and use the fact that they got these core summoner spells out to threaten topside and threaten the Baron area.
Yeah, vision control going to be trying to take it again for BDS. You have Labrov with his wards refreshed, and now control is over the side of BDS. It's on KC to face check.
Massive push from Vladi on the bottom side. He has the TP. So
BDS
BDS,
have to start it.
you have to start it, you have to draw it out, but there's the TP from Nuke.
I mean, he's going to try and bring in some damage of his own. He's part of the reason why it made it so quick. BDS sitting in front of the Baron. I mean, Canna's here, but again, Vladi's just pushing for the game.
The Baron's
at
so
5k, the Baron's going down. BDS might have it in the palm of their hands, and it's not contested, but Targamas, the flash 3-man engage with Canna coming up as well. Sjokz and Oars. KC now explode the fight, explode the sides, and as Vladi comes on in, and Ice tries to win it out, it's a trade. Upset cleans up the rest, and just like that, KC find their window to strike.
The Baron went down, but KC take the fight. The TP to the wave that was pressed earlier. It looks like KC have done it.
It was an excellent play with the side lanes from KC. They TP in and clean up. It's a 5-0.
They bring it back, and this is a dominating game to take into game number 5. The death timers are too long. The minion wave is there. And KC, when their backs are against the wall, the blue wall rises out of the deep and says, not today.
KC had never made it to playoffs in LEC. They do it. KC have never made it to the season finals. Can they do it? Or can BDS do what they have never done and win a game 5 in playoffs?
One final game to decide if KC's year goes on much longer or not at all. One more game to find out if Giant X will be carried through to the light by BDS. It all comes down to this. It's your favorite. It's a banger. It's a BO5 coming to the final game. BDS and KC. Only one will remain.
Summer Split, baby!
Wow.